It always feels good when you are appreciated. SLT non-stop broadband. Free loyalty data added as you stay connected.
ලෙන්ගතුකම වැඩි කරගන්න ලව්ජු රුපියල් 50ට අඩු කළා.
මාමේ එන්න අපිට එකක් බොමු.
Tonight, temporary reprieve. The country breathes a sigh of relief after health authorities report that local individuals suspected of novel coronavirus infection cleared following tests. Future outlook. SLPP Chairman Professor G.L. Pires says that the party's parliamentary election win is the only way political stability can be achieved and development pursued. Hold your horses. The Attorney General advised to pause case against Admiral of the Fleet Wasantha Karannagoda by the Presidential Commission of Inquiry appointed to investigate political victimization. A legend departs. The world mourns the passing of basketball phenomenon Kobe Bryant in tragic helicopter crash in California. All that and much more coming up on First at 9, this Monday, the 27th of January 2020.
මේ සීන් එකෙන් කට් වෙන්න ඇන්ටිජර් මවුත්වොෂ් සමගින් එන ක්ලෝස් අප් ජෙල් එක ස්ටෝරි එක ස්ටාර්ට් කරන්න.
Hi.
Hi.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to First at 9. I'm Dhamike Kanaka. Let's start with your local stories. Now, as of today, 81 people have succumbed to the coronavirus in China, with over 2,700 other people reportedly having contracted it so far. Giving a brief outline of the symptoms of the deadly virus, an infectious disease specialist noted that symptoms do not manifest immediately following infection and revealed that it may take up to a couple of weeks to finally show signs. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka heaved a sigh of relief today following reports that 4 individuals admitted to the infectious disease hospital on suspicion of contracting the virus had tested negative.
In the past couple of days, 4 persons have been admitted to the infectious diseases hospital on suspicion of contracting the novel coronavirus. Director for Medical Research Institute Dr. Jairawan Bandara says that they have been declared free of the virus following extensive tests. With the number of confirmed cases and deaths continuing to rise, health officials in a number of countries are working all out to learn more about the virus and put measures into place to curtail its spread. Lee Lanjuan, an infectious disease specialist, gave a brief outline into the virus's symptoms, revealing that the symptoms take at least 2 weeks to show up. According to Lee, the incubation period is about 10 to 14 days, which is similar with the 14 days evident in the SARS virus, adding that patients usually do not show signs of sickness immediately after infection. Currently, there are more than 2,700 confirmed cases and at least 81 deaths reported due to the virus. China is extending the Lunar New Year holiday for 3 days and enforcing strict containment measures in an attempt to curb the spread of the coronavirus. More than 56 million people in almost 20 cities, including the Hubei capital of Wuhan, where the virus originated, have been affected by travel restrictions introduced amid fears the transmission rate will balloon as hundreds of millions of Chinese travel during the Lunar New Year celebrations. In this backdrop, the WHO chief arrived in Beijing for talks regarding the outbreak. He is scheduled to meet representatives of government agencies and other experts who are involved in the crisis management efforts. Meanwhile, Cambodia became the latest country to confirm a case of coronavirus. So far, Canada, Australia, Malaysia, Nepal, Hong Kong, Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam, South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Macau and the United States, as well as France, have all confirmed positive cases. At present, there are 660 Sri Lankans living in different parts of China, and many of them are faced with difficulties due to the prevailing situation. The President's Media Division confirmed today that Sri Lankan students studying in China are now returning to the island, with the first group of 21 students having already left for Sri Lanka. The national carrier has also taken measures to provide air tickets to students at a discounted rate of 50%. The statement added that discussions are currently underway with the Chinese government to bring back Sri Lankan students in Wuhan, which is currently on lockdown. Meanwhile, a special passenger terminal has been established at the Bandar Naik International Airport to check all passengers arriving from Beijing, Guangzhou and Chengdu, as well as Canton airports in China. According to airport sources, over 1,000 people arrive in the country daily from these 4 airports. Ambulances have also been made available at the airport to transport possible carriers of the deadly virus to the Infectious Diseases Hospital.
The National Action Committee appointed with regards to the prevention of a possible spread of the novel coronavirus within the country met for the first time at the Ministry of Health today. Government Medical Officers Association also weighed in on the prevailing global situation with regards to the virus at a media briefing, warning that the situation has the capacity to get worse.
මේ වෙනකොට ලෝකේ මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් කරන අනාවැකි මේ විශේෂඥයන් විසින් කරමින් ඉන්නවා. ඒ අය දැනට මේ වෛරසයේ තියෙන ප්‍රබල බව පිළිබඳ ඇස්තමේන්තු කරමින් ඉන්නවා. එයාගේ ඇස්තමේන්තු අනුව එක රෝගියෙක් හම්බුනොත් එහෙම ඒ රෝගියාගෙන් අඩුම ගානේ තව 5 දෙනෙකුට 6 දෙනෙකුට විතර රෝගේ බෝ වෙනවා කියලා ඇස්තමේන්තු කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒක ඊටාම භයානක තත්ත්වයක්.
වෛද්‍ය පර්යේෂණ ආයතනයේ මේ වන විට මෙම novel corona virus 2019 කියන එම ස්ට්‍රේන් එක සම්බන්ධ PCR පරීක්ෂණය දියුණු කරලා තියෙනවා. එම පරීක්ෂණ හැකියාව මේ වන විට තියෙන ඉන්දියාවේ පූනේ නගරයේ සහ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ පමණයි මේ අවට තියෙන රටවල් වලින්. ඒ නිසා අපට මේ පිළිබඳව ඊටාම සතුටු විය හැකි. මේ අනුව අපිට පැහැදිලිව කියන්න පුළුවන් කොරෝනා වෛරස් රෝගියෙක්ද නැද්ද කියන එක පිළිබඳව.
Meanwhile, the National Action Committee appointed to prevent a possible outbreak of coronavirus in Sri Lanka met for the first time at the Health Ministry today.
This is breaking news on AdaDerana 24.
Now, this is news just in. Now, health officials have just confirmed that a Chinese tourist who arrived in the country 10 days ago from the Hubei province and was admitted on suspicion of the novel coronavirus has tested positive this evening for the virus at the Infectious Disease Hospital in Colombo. Now, let me repeat that. A Chinese tourist who arrived in the country 10 days ago from the Hubei province. Now, Hubei province is in fact the nexus of this virus. He was admitted on suspicion of the novel coronavirus, and this evening he has tested positive for the infectious virus at the Infectious Disease Hospital in Colombo. Now, this is the first case which has been detected in Sri Lanka.
This is breaking news on AdaDerana 24.
And moving on with other stories, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Professor G.L. Peiris says that victory at the upcoming parliamentary election will be essential in order to complete the party's victory at the presidential election. Professor Peiris added that the political stability required for the country to forge ahead in its development plans and attract investments to do so can only be gained following such victory.
A media briefing was held today at the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna headquarters in Colombo, hosted by Party Chairman Professor G.L. Peiris and State Minister of Energy Rohita Beggunawardena.
පාර්ලිමේන්තු මැතිවරණයක් පැවැත්වීම අවශ්‍යයි ජනාධිපතිවරණයෙන් ලබාගත් විශිෂ්ට ජයග්‍රහණය සම්පූර්ණ කිරීම සඳහා. ස්ථාවරභාවය අපේ රටට අද ඉතාමත් අවශ්‍ය දෙයක්. ආයෝජන ලබා ගැනීම සඳහා සියලුම දේවල් වලට වඩා වැදගත් කොන්දේසිය වන්නේ දේශපාලන ස්ථාවරභාවය. මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමාට විශිෂ්ට ජයග්‍රහණයක් අත්පත් කර දුන් කුරුණෑගල ජනතාව අතහැර දැමීමට එතුමා කිසිසේත් සූදානම් නැහැ. ඒ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයෙන්මයි වෙන කිසිම දිස්ත්‍රික්කයකින් නෙවෙයි මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමා තරම් කරන්නේ.
Meanwhile, State Minister of Energy Rohita Beggunawardena criticised the UNP for what he termed unfair expectations in expecting the president to undo the damage caused by the previous government in the 2 months of his presidency.
ආණ්ඩුව පත් වෙලා ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ ජනාධිපතිතුමා ජනාධිපති වෙලා මාස දෙකක් ඇතුළත කාලය බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. අර විනාශ කරපු අවුරුදු 5ක රට මාස දෙකකින් එකපාරට සුරපුරයක් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා. එළවලු මිල ටිකක් ඉහළ ගිය ගාමම බලන්න ඕන UNP එකේ නැගිටලා එන හැටි. හරියට ඒ කාලවල එළවලු මිල ගිහිල්ලාම නැහැ. නොමිලේ දීලා තියෙන්නේ. හාල් නොමිලේ දීලා තියෙන්නේ. අවුරුදු 5ක් යනකම් මේ රටේ පහුගිය ඉතිහාසයේ ගොවියට පොහොර ටිකක් දුන්නේ නැහැ. විශේෂයෙන්ම හිටපු ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ පොළොන්නරුව දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ ගොවියෝ හැමදාම හිටියේ පාරේ. ඒතර ගොවිය අනාථ කළා ආණ්ඩුව පෙරලිච්ච ගම මාස දෙකක් ඇතුළත කියනවා ඉතා ඉක්මනට හාල් මිල බස්සන්න කියලා. ඉතින් මේක කරන්න නම් සක්‍ර දේවේන්ද්‍රයා ලංකාවට එන්න ඕන. දැන් අපි දැක්ක අසාඩ් සාලි හිටපු ආණ්ඩුකාරවරයා ජනාධිපති කොමිසමට ගිහිල්ලා ලබා දෙනවා කට උත්තර. දැන් ඔහුගේ ප්‍රකාශය සම්බන්ධයෙන්
තමුන්නාන්සලගේ පළාත්වල තව්වීත් කියලා ගෙවල් අරගෙන දැන් අත් දෙනා හට දෙනා ජුම්මා කරනවා. ඒක නීති විරෝධී කියලා කියන්නේ ආගම් විරෝධී පවා. හැබැයි මේක පාරම්පරික මුස්ලිම් ගිහිලා පොලිසියට පැමිණිලි කරුවාම පොලිසිය හැමදාම තව්වීත් ජමාතයේ පිටිපස්සේ හිටියා. මේකේ විශේෂයෙන්ම ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න ඕනේ උසාවියේ අග්‍රවිශ්වකාරතුමා වහාම පියවර ගන්න ඕනේ. ජජස්ලා කීප දෙනෙකුත් ඉන්නවා මේ සංවිධානයේ. මේක අලුත් එලිදරාවක් මං ගාව ඩොකියුමන්ට් තියෙනවා. මම CJ-ට කතා කරලා කියනවා මේකයි කියන්නේ මේ පුද්ගලයා.
ඔව් අධිකරණයට ඔව් කියන්නේ නඩුකාරවරු. මොකද පහුගිය ආණ්ඩුව සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම අල්ලේ නැටෙව්වේ අසාඩ් සාලිලා. පහුගිය ආණ්ඩුවේ පොලිසිය පාවිච්චි කරේ අසාඩ් සාලිලා. ඒක දැන් ජනාධිපති කොමිසමේදී එළියට එනවා. අගවිනිසුරුතුමාගෙන් ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා මෙන්න මේ හඬපටය දිහා බලලා බොහොම පැහැදිලිව මේ අසාඩ් සාලිගෙන් වහාම ප්‍රශ්න කරන්න වෙනවා. කවුරු ගැනද මේ කිව්වේ?
Now, Chief Prelate of the Amarapura sect, Venerable Kotukura Dhammawasa Thera, has called on President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to bring an end to rampant criminal activity in the country and usher in an era of peace and prosperity. He made the request from the President when the head of state visited the Dharmapalarama temple in Mount Lavinia.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa called on the Chief Prelate of the Amarapura sect, Venerable Kotukura Dhammawasa Thera, in his birthday yesterday and inquired him at the Sri Dharmapalarama Vihara in Mount Lavinia.
දාසක් කාර්යභාරයක් හිතේ තබාගෙන මේ අවස්ථාවට සහභාගී වීම මා බොහෝම අගය කොට සලකනවා. රටේ පවතින මේ අපරාධ ආදී නවත්තන සදාචාරයට ඔබතුමා අතගැසිය යුතු තිබෙනවා. මහා සංඝයා වහන්සේ වශයෙන් බෞද්ධ ජනතාව වශයෙන් අපේ රටේ අන්‍ය ආගමික පූජකවරුන් වැඩ ඉන්න උන්වහන්සේලා සියලු දෙනා ඔබතුමාට සම්පූර්ණයෙන් ඒ සඳහා ආශිර්වාද කිරීමට අත්හිත දීමට සූදානම්. මේ ළඟට ඇති මැතිවරණයේදී ජනතාව ඒ තත්ත්වයම තබාගෙන ඔවුන්ගේ බලාපොරොත්තු එසේ පිටු වෙන බවට අඟවලා ඉදිරි කාලය තුළ අපට මේ ඉදිරි 5 වසර තුළ රටේ සාමයේ සමෘද්ධිය ඇති කිරීමට ඔබතුමාට සියලු දෙවියන්ගේ පිහිට නොඅඩුව ලැබේවා.
The Chief of Naval Staff of the Pakistani Navy, Admiral Zafar Mahmood, has assured Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa of the Pakistan government's willingness to provide further advanced military training to up to 600 Sri Lankan security personnel. The meeting between the Prime Minister and the Rear Admiral Mahmood took place at Temple Trees following his arrival yesterday on an official 5-day visit.
In keeping with Sri Lanka's strong history of military cooperation with the Pakistani government, Chief of Naval Staff of the Pakistani Navy, Admiral Zafar Mahmood, informed Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa today that Pakistan is ready and willing to provide further training to 600 Sri Lankan security personnel. Attention was drawn to the strong bilateral relations shared by the two countries in all fields, including the defence sector as well. During the meeting, Prime Minister Rajapaksa expressed his gratitude to Pakistan for lending their support to Sri Lanka during the 30-year-long civil war. Rear Admiral Mahmood also thanked the Premier for the Sri Lankan cricket team's decision to play a test series in Pakistan following the near-fatal terrorist attack the Sri Lankan team faced in 2009. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa attended the 10-year anniversary celebrations of the Mahinda Rajapaksa National School in Homagama.
දරුවෙක් ඉස්කෝලේකට දාගන්න ගියාම තමයි මේ රටේ ව්‍යාජ ලේඛන හැදෙන්නේ. ඒක දෙමව්පියන්ට දොස් කියන්නත් බෑ. මේ ක්‍රමයේ තියෙන වරද. ඒ ක්‍රමය වෙනස් කරන්නට අපිට ඉදිරි දැක්මක් තිබුණා. එදා මහින්ද චින්තනයේ යටතේ එක පළාතකට එක ජාතික පාසලක් බැඳීම පළාත් 9කට පාසල් 9ක් ඉදි කරන්න අපි මුලින් බලාපොරොත්තු වුණා. තමුන්නාන්සේලා මතක ඇති දා පාසල් රාශියකට මහින්දෝදය විද්‍යාගාර අපි ලබා දුන්නා. 1000ක් ලබා දුන්නා. හැබැයි මට මතකයි තාමත් මං හිතන්නේ මහින්දෝදය විද්‍යාගාර විවෘත නොකරපු 150ක් තියෙනවා. ඒවා විවෘත කරගන්නවත් ඔවුන් උනන්දු වුණේ නැහැ. අපි මේ වෛරක්කාර පරිගන්න යුගය අවසන් කළ යුතුව තියෙනවා. අපි ඒකට පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ඉහළ කතානායකතුමාගේ ඉඳලා වැඩි හරියක් ඉන්නේ විපක්ෂ. ඉතින් අපි සමහර පනත් අපි ගේන්න නැතුව ඉන්නවා. මොකද මේ පනත ගෙනාවොත් සමහර විට ඒකට විරුද්ධ වුණොත් ඒක අපිට පරාජයක් වෙන නිසා.
Now, the Presidential Commission of Inquiry appointed by the President to inquire into alleged political victimization of public servants and members of the armed forces during the last 5 years has advised the Attorney General to suspend the examination of cases involving Admiral of the Fleet Wasantha Karannagoda and former Navy spokesperson Commodore DKP Dasanayake. The Commission has requested the Attorney General to put any further inquiries on hold until its own investigations can be concluded into possible politically motivated cases against key public servants.
The Attorney General has been advised by the Presidential Commission of Inquiry appointed by the President to inquire into alleged political victimization of public servants and members of the armed forces to temporarily suspend the inquiry into Admiral of the Fleet Wasantha Karannagoda and former Navy spokesman Commodore DKP Dasanayake. Admiral of the Fleet Wasantha Karannagoda and former Navy spokesman Commodore DKP Dasanayake were indicted at the Permanent High Court trial at bar over the alleged abduction and disappearance of 11 youth in 2008 and 2009 by the Attorney General last week. The commission, chaired by retired Supreme Court Judge Upali Aberatna and comprising of retired Appeals Court Judge Daya Chandra Sirijaya Tilaka and retired IGP Chandra Fernando as members, has hence stated that it may be considered inadvisable to conduct such probes until the commission completes its own investigations.
We'll see you again on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. Now let's get on with the rest of news. Now, the duo who claimed to have operated as alleged white van drivers at the controversial media briefing convened by MP Rajitha Senaratne have made a complaint with the Criminal Investigation Department that MP Senaratne has made threats against their lives if any further revelations with regards to their claims are made public. The duo revealed to the CID that the threat was made through an underworld character identified as Kotahena Shantha.
Former Minister Rajitha Senaratne arrived at the Criminal Investigations Department for the second day to record a further statement with regards to the controversial media briefing that was convened by the MP, featuring two individuals who claimed to have operated as drivers of white vans used to abduct and murder individuals during the Mahinda Rajapaksa regime. The MP left the Criminal Investigation Department after a 2-hour-long inquiry. Meanwhile, the two individuals in the midst of the white van media briefing lodged a complaint at the Criminal Investigations Department today. The duo claimed to have faced death threats from MP Rajitha Senaratne in an attempt to pressurize the duo to withhold any further information pertaining to the white van media briefing.
Senaratne මාත්‍යා දිගින් දිගටම මරණීය තර්ජන එල්ල කරනවා මෙම මාධ්‍ය සාකච්ඡාව නිවැරදි කරන්න එපා කියලා. අපි එදා අපලපු දවසේ අපි අධිකරණ භූමියෙන් එළියට එනකොට අපි කිව්වා මාධ්‍ය සාකච්ඡාවක් තියලා නැවත සැබෑ මූණෙන් මේ රටට හෙළිකරව කරනවා කියලා මේක ඇත්ත සිද්ධිය. දැන් ඔහු ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙලා තියෙනවා පාතාලකල්ලි සමාජිකයෙක් ඉන්නවා වැලිකඩ බන්ධනාගාරයේ කොටේන සාන්ත කියලා. ඔහු ඊයේ දුරකථනයෙන් කතා කරලා සියලු දත්ත මේ දුරකථනයේ තියෙනවාද CID එකට බාර දෙන්න අපි ආවේ. ඔහු කියනවා මේ මාධ්‍ය සාකච්ඡාව නිවැරදි කරන්න එපා. මාධ්‍ය සාකච්ඡාව නිවැරදි කරොත් අධිකරණයට උසාවි දිනයටත් එන්න එපයි කියලා කියනවා. එහෙම ආවොත් ගෙදර සුදු කොඩි එල්ලනවා කියලා. දැන් අපිට දැන් මේ තර්ජනය කරලා බය කළා මේක නඩුවෙන් දිනන්න ඒගොල්ලෝ හිතාගෙන ඇති. ඒවත් නෑ ඉතින් අපි බය නෑ. අපි ඕන දෙයකට කොහොමත් ලෑස්ති නිසා තමයි මේවට බැස්සේ.
Now, the National Transport Medical Institute has introduced an online method of obtaining medical reports for driving licenses in order to make this service faster and people-friendly. This online service can be obtained by accessing the online appointment function in the official website of the National Transport Medical Institute, www.nmt.gov.my. ntmi.lk. This new online method is expected to cut unnecessary delays and increase productivity of the process. However, this service can be obtained only at the head office in Nugegode, and it is to be introduced for 26 other branches island-wide in the near future. Further, the Ministry of Passenger Transport Management stated that a mobile app will be introduced to obtain this service via mobile phone in the future. Now, taking a look at the markets, Sri Lanka's stocks ended 0.95% weaker today, dragged down by John Keel's holdings. The all-share price index closed 56.66 points to 5,934, retreating after last week's gains. The S&P SL20 index of more liquid stocks fell 1.37%. 39.58 points to 2,843.43. Market turnover was 181.9 million rupees, while 28 stocks gained and 94 fell. The stock market recorded a negative territory in trading after 4 consecutive days of positive trading. Let's now take a look at a brief report on today's market performance.
In the bond market, commencing the week, the secondary market yield curve remained broadly unchanged, while the overall market witnessed moderate volume. Some buying interest was seen especially in the mid-tenor maturities today. In the stock market, the BOS actually plunged 57 points following the global trend which was created due to the virus attack that is there in China. This is the first day of negative territory after 4 consecutive days of positive trading, predominantly on price losses in John Keel's holdings and distilleries. Market witnessed a consistent downtrend, reaching an intraday low of 5,931 points and ultimately slightly rebounding to close at 5,934 points, while the turnover levels actually recorded a 4-week low today. Foreigners were net buyers, though the overall foreign participation was pretty low today.
Now, in the currency market, the rupee closed marginally weak at 181 rupees to 55 to 65 cents to the US dollar in the spot market today. The rupee closed at 181 rupees and 50 to 60 cents to the greenback last Friday. Now, let's take a look at how the Sri Lankan rupee traded against other major currencies during the day. The world suffered a tragic loss following the death of basketball legend Kobe Bryant along with his 13-year-old daughter in a helicopter crash in Calabasas, California yesterday. Reports said that the helicopter manifest had revealed that 7 other passengers were on board the helicopter at the time, but no confirmation has been forthcoming on their identities.
2-time NBA Most Valuable Player basketball legend Kobe Bryant was reported killed when his helicopter crashed in Calabasas, California yesterday. Bryant was traveling to a basketball game with his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, who was scheduled to play Sunday afternoon when the helicopter went down in a remote field of Las Virgenes, Calabasas. Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanueva said that the helicopter's manifest confirmed 9 passengers to be aboard, with Bryant at the time. The victims have not yet been named officially, but according to family members and colleagues, John Altobelli, coach of the Orange Coast College basketball team, along with his wife Kerry and their 13-year-old daughter Alyssa, a teammate of Bryant's daughter Gianna, along with Christina Mauser, a basketball coach at Gianna's school, were also on board. The Los Angeles County Sheriff said that the investigation and recovery efforts would involve an extensive process. He added that the Federal Aviation Administration had secured a 5-mile flight restriction over the area of the crash site, including a 5,000-foot ceiling over it. Before Bryant retired from his team, the Los Angeles Lakers in 2016, Some of his achievements include being two-time NBA scoring champion as well as a two-time Olympic gold medalist.
Teen sensation Billie Eilish pulled off a clean sweep at the Grammys last night, winning 5 awards including Album, Record and Song of the Year as well as the Best Artist categories, upsetting odds-on favourites Ariana Grande to take home the evening's 4 most prestigious awards. The news of the sudden death of basketball player Kobe Bryant cast a shadow over the usually vibrant red carpet of the Grammys.
The Grammys evening opened with a dedication to basketball superstar Kobe Bryant, who died in a helicopter accident outside Los Angeles earlier in the day.
And we're literally standing here heartbroken in the house that Kobe Bryant built.
Teen sensation Billie Eilish won for her debut studio album When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, and her single Bad Guy was named Record of the Year as well as the Song of the Year. The night was brightened up by a number of performances from a variety of artists.
And that's it from all of us here at First at 9. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.